Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. This is your favorite crypto trading show, Crypto and Coffee, with their trading bros. I'm Clutch. We got B. Wellington over here. Uh, and we may just have a choppy day in store for us. Let's get to the charts and see what it looks like. But we did have that nice move up, followed by a nice move down yesterday. And it did break down. So if you guys caught that long or short, congratulations. Hope you're adding some money to your bank account. Hey, B.
Uh,
Wellington. B. Wellington. Good morning.
what's up? Good morning.
Hey, if you would be so kind, sir, what do you see on these charts over here? Oh,
Well, let's just break it down because I'll tell you, I'm not, you know, not that I'm ever 100%, but I do have a good idea, my own ideas of where we're going to go. And right now, we're kind of at one of those critical points where we can go either way. Um, and there's probably some indicators that'll tell you one way or the other, but let's get into it. Like you said, so this is the daily, that's out there. We've got, stochastic in the normal RSI headed up to the top, and we've got momentum waves headed back up, as well because we had this move, this pretty nice move to the downside. So normally, what happens in these situations, and we have this line right here, which is a line for support that we hit on the big
this is the daily
drawdown that
chart,
we had.
right?
This is the daily.
Yeah.
So we came back into this area, potentially. We've got kind of this low volume nodes on the daily. So coming up and getting past this kind of this 13, 47 area, which is kind of in here. We kind of got into it, we wicked it, and then we came back down. So, we got a little bit of imbalance here to move back up, as well. We have a lot of shorts that are coming in place after this big move. I think a lot of people are going short, the majority of the market. So we've had this move back up. This busted out a lot of those shorts, came back to trap some of those shorts as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if we start moving back to the upside. Today we've got on balance volume, which is kind of in the middle of the range as well. We're not, you like to see these things at the very peaks, up top or down low, as far as making a move. But we're kind of just sitting in the middle here. We've gotten some pretty good volume. I'm not going to say that we haven't had any volume that's coming in the chart, and it has increased. Right, today's not done, so this is a little bit, but we've had some good amounts of volume moving up like that generally speaks to us moving forward, moving up, as far as price is concerned. But that is on the daily. So let's take a look at some time frames a little closer to where we are today. So this is the hourly. So I've got this line in here. This is kind of a line of support as well. We've been kind of bouncing around it as far as almost like a POC. I wouldn't even say a support or resistance, but a POC. But here we are back up to it. Potentially, we could move back down into this area. That would somewhat complete this W formation or fail swing pattern, if you want to call it that. We did have this wick here. I don't know if you can see that. And I put a box around it just because that's going to be another imbalance in the chart. It was kind of one of those clear out wicks where you had one wick that came down, one wick that came up. A lot of volume that came in, but price really didn't do anything. And now we're starting to move to the upside from the low down here. So if you would have been awake, this was during the UK session. This probably would have been a good trade. I think everybody's expecting us to come back and double tap this line here.
The double tap.
Was the double tap. So come back and tap this line. And I think that's going to be, what I would anticipate here is probably a swing pattern failure here because you're going to have so many people that are going short into this area, in my opinion. But, crypto's strange because we got a lot of longs to get on board immediately. So we're just coming back up to the 50 on the 1 hour. So again, that's something that we're kind of in that spot where it could go either way. If we start to see some volume coming in, and we start breaking through, that be positive. We got daily open up top as well. We also have psychological high, but we're still within the psychological levels. We really didn't exploit this area here, which I thought that we would, because there's some imbalance here as well. So again, we've got imbalance on the bottom, we got imbalance on top, but we also have
Whoa.
some
Hold
red
on. I
vectors as
don't mean
well.
to interrupt, but do we have a surprise guest that just streamed in this morning?
Okay, very good. Or is he going to say
I
anything?
mean, I don't know. He's probably still rubbing the sleep out of his eyes.
Well, let me. So again, from looking at what I'm looking at right now, I would expect us to get back up to the daily open psychological high, but also would like to see some volume coming through, as well. All indications from the hourly chart say that we're probably moving to the upside, at some point, but we could find some trappy moves as well on the shorter term. 14-minute, again, looks the same. We've got a lot of these vectors here that we need to recover, but we do have resistance on this 200 and this 800 as we go into the daily open. So this area, call it 1336. It's going to be some critical area. We've also got pivot point, which is a kind of a Fibonacci measure that's up here at the 1350s area. So potentially getting back up to this pivot point of that 1340, 1350s, kind of seeing what's going on there. But again, this is a huge, we've got this vector here as well coming out of it. I mean, we're returning to this area. It's just, when are we going to return to it? Are we going to go up here, the daily open, this pivot point, before we get back up to it? Or are we going to head all the way up and reach these peaks up in this area, 1400, before we come back down in this area? But this is definitely an area that I think we're going to get down to. So again, we're kind of in the middle of this range, but I do expect for us to move upwards. I rarely go to the minute, but I'm going to go to the minute because the market just opened on the future side. And so within that Brinks box, we've had some trappings to the upside. So we've had an initial move that went to the upside in the New York, come back down into the psychological low. So this looks a little trappy behavior, but as you can see, we're kind of bouncing around this line. This line's been here all night. Haven't touched it this morning. So they're respecting some of these levels. But again, what it does in the first hour, 30 minutes of the market is indicative of what it'll do for the rest of the day. So we're still kind of watching that. Funding rate, which we hardly ever take a look at, but I did take a look at it this morning. Again, we've got, kind of negative funding. We've had negative funding for a while, which just indicate that the sentiment is pretty bearish. $5.2 billion for perpetual OI, which is out there. And as far as OI is concerned, we're moving up. We're starting to bust out some of these shorts. So we've got some liquidations that are happening on that end. So again, I would anticipate us moving further back up. If we look at the market, yeah, here's the big news. If you want to know the big news, Apple had sent out some emails to their suppliers saying, slow down, right? Like, demand on the new iPhone isn't where it's at. So you've had NASDAQ that's sliding down because of Apple. Apple's taking a big hit based upon some of their forward guidance. As Dow futures and S&P. Well, these are futures. Hold on, let me get to actual market themselves. So we're flat all across the board, pretty much flat, but will take NASDAQ down. Now, I think when large companies like Apple, Amazon, I can think of another one, are, starting to slide, that affects so many other stocks in the market, and therefore we should probably get a nice slide down if nobody buys up, Apple at this discount, or if it needs to be discounted more. We've got VIX, that's pretty high as well, which indicate that we've got some volatility in the market. If we look at news that's out there, today is the 28th, and we've got trades in goods, negative 87.3 billion, which is just indicative of a slowing global economy. We've got pending home sales index. We've got Jerome Powell delivers some open remarks. It seems like he's, kind of put a lid on some of those hawkish remarks, at least this week, to tame some of the market volatility. And then Thursday, Friday, we've got initial jobless claims. This gross domestic income revisions. These aren't market movers in my opinion, but I will tell you, I mean, if jobless claims comes in at a ridiculous number, that's probably going to remove markets. But PCE is going to be kind of an early indicator of CPI as well, but this is on the producer side. And so this is going to tell you about, business, their expenditures, what their pricing looks like, basically inflation within the industrial markets or within the manufacturing side of things. And then we've got a lot of remarks that are coming out, as well. So Friday, I believe, this will have some impactful news. We may get some jobless claims news here as well, but we'll see. One of the things I did want to highlight is job openings and labor turnover survey. So if you watch, and I did, a lot of what Powell is talking about in his meetings, he's not mentioning anything about. He's mentioning vacancies and that this labor turnover, right? So we do have a bubble as it relates to vacancies because people have jobs or businesses have jobs, but nobody's filling them, right? And so if he's trying to reduce demand, the first place he needs to go is try to reduce those vacancies and either get people back to work or have those businesses uh, reduce those vacancies, so then you can really see some unemployment numbers because they're not gonna lay anybody off uh, until they have a limited number of vacancies. So we've got some buffer there. So that's a number to take a look at. And this is happening on the 4th. It's not showing up on the U.S. economic calendar, but that we use on Market Watch. But it's out there. So that's all I got for today. Looks like we got a little mini pump going into the first 30 minutes. So be careful of that as well.
Captain K, welcome to the show.
What up, babies?
Hey
How
man,
y'all
how
doing this
how
morning?
we're doing great. How are you?
Can't complain. Just woke up, watched
Oh,
my trade completed last night while I was asleep, so I can't complain.
We do
very
not recommend staying in trades during sleep time, by the way,
unless
unless
you're
you're locked in,
locked in
unless
profit.
you're locked in profit.
Oh yeah, I gotta
Hey,
have that trailing.
hey man, but Captain K, hey, you've been following our signals last week, and word on the street is you may have just doubled your account.
I have. Last
Oh
week was
man.
amazing for me. I
Oh,
even though I lost a decent amount doing kind of like side things, but I still doubled my whole entire account basically. The whole entire week
Well,
doing y'all
stop doing all
signals.
that. Stop doing all that side shit and just listen to the
yeah, man.
OG. Listen to the OGs over here,
Yeah,
dog.
we know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, no, y'all still did amazing. Double my account, and I'm ready to double it this week.
All
Bills are
right.
coming. I gotta pay some shit off.
Did you have a good day yesterday?
I had a great day yesterday. I was actually filming stuff all day.
Perfect, perfect. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah, shout out to Keaton's channel. You know what I'm saying? We'll put a link in the descriptions. I don't do that shit, but why don't Brandon might you handle that?
Keaton, check it out, Keaton's Corner, Willed Air Fry. Newest
yeah,
episode came out yesterday. We got another one coming out tomorrow morning.
Man, you're gonna get at least more views from our subscriberships.
Hell, I'll take it,
absolutely.
baby. I'll take it.
All right, guys. We're looking at high block capital, and as you can see, we still have quite a few short liquidations to the upside, which would point that we may have some more movement to the upside. But as you can see, we went from a positive $7 billion on the liquidation delta, and we've already flipped the book, and we're heading down. We're at negative 3 billion, and guys, this number can get up to negative 11, negative 15 billion really quick. So there is a very big possibility that we could see some continuation to the downside because this may have just been getting some open interest and the longs on board. Let's look at book maps so we can get a little bit better picture of what's going on because at this point, I'm not absolutely convinced that we're going to be heading up today. Let's take a look at this. As you can see, hey man, we are having some momentum to the upside. your big area, and we're getting into a very crowded area right here. So if we're going to break out, you're going to be looking at breaking out past 1340. So if we can break out past that 1340, go ahead and ride the gravy train all the way to the top. However, we may be getting rejected around this area and brought back down into the 1300s and below. But to be honest with you, what I think is going to happen today, we're just going to have a real choppy day where it's just going to range in and out, and not a whole lot of activity going on today. So, my opinion, I'm not currently in a trade, so I'm not biased anyway, but I think it's just going to be a choppy day today, to be honest with you guys.
Well, Keaton, we got you on. What's your opinion about what the market's going to do?
Well, I haven't been looking at it this much. I just woke up a little bit. But if I were to say anything by just barely looking at the charts right now, we'll probably, yeah, range up to 1350, be choppy, may get a false pump up, but I think it's just going to be choppy this whole entire day. Get a little wicks up to the 1350, just get that false pump, but like Brandon was saying, it looks like it's just going to be choppy, ranging between that 1350 and where it was this morning, 1265 probably, just high wicks.
Oh, there you have it. B. Wellington, what's your call for the day?
I think we're gonna head to the upside. I mean, we're below. We're kind of in the psychological ranges. I mean, this isn't a hugely confident prediction just because we are in the middle of the range. But if I was going to make a trade today, I would probably make it to the upside. Unless, I mean, here are your key areas. I mean, it's 850 where I'm at, so we've probably got another 15 to 20 minutes of fuckery that the market can get around to see if we can what I'll tell you what I'm looking for when you have days like this when you're really not kind of you don't have a good idea based upon the charts, based upon some of the order flow, is wait for a false move, right? Wait for a fast move in a direction that seems trappy into some of the areas that we talked about. And if it's real fast into that area, especially if it's going up, fade that move. If it's real fast going down and it starts to slow down volume wise, I would fade that move. So really at this point, with us being in the middle of the range, I'm waiting on a move, waiting on a move.
All right, guys. You heard it here first. We're waiting on a move, and it's probably going to be a little choppy. Well, that's all we have for today's show, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And everyone, please do us all a favor and have a great day. We'll catch you next time. Amen.